Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome to Why You Need a Church App. I'm one of your hosts, Nico. This is Carly here.
Hello.
Let's start off with our question of the day, Carly. What
Yes.
is your favorite app that you use daily and why?
I I feel like there are a lot of apps. I take like messages out of the equation because that's a necessity. I just text people like that's a necessity. But like Spotify is my everyday. I'm always in there. And I just found out this last week I found out that every month you can do a free audiobook. It's included with your subscription. So, pro tip, if you subscribe to Spotify, it has a free audiobook every month. You get one. So, that's pretty
That's awesome.
cool.
I love that. I I've I've listened to the Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator book like two
Oh,
times,
neat.
and it's awesome that Spotify does that. My app actually is also going to be Spotify. Uh, I love listening to podcasts, and on Spotify they have a new like video feature, so it actually shows the video recording of the podcast. So, on long drives,
Oh,
road trips, I'll just sit there and put my phone up and listen to a podcast for a few hours. It's so,
yeah,
so convenient.
that's
It's
awesome.
a great app.
Look, looks like Sonia said M Secure is my password manager. Can't log into anything without it. I hear
Ah,
that.
yes.
Like
That's
I would there's probably two passwords that I actually have memorized.
Yeah.
I love that. That's actually a really good call out. I don't even think about that being an actual app.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Is there anybody else? I want to hear like your daily apps.
Yeah, I want to hear
Proton
some
Pass,
more
One
favorite app.
Password. I've heard of One Password. I've heard a lot of people say that that is the best. Love that. Anybody else? There's so many apps, and I actually love hearing people's favorites because I feel like I actually like feel like I get like locked into like the handful of apps that I'm in, and I never explore for like new apps. They're developing new apps all the
100%.
time, so I should like pay attention.
Yeah.
News app, yep,
It's almost like hearing about someone's favorite meal. And you're like, oh, I've never
yeah,
tried that before. This might actually be one of my
exactly,
favorites.
exactly. I love that. I love that. Let's see. We've got 19 people in here. Love to see it. Anybody else? Any other apps that are your favorite?
You know what
I guess
another one of my
haven't already
favorite
been.
apps is
What's that?
is Venmo. Venmo,
Yeah,
I'm in Nashville. I have two roommates, and it's like we're basically Venmoing each other back and forth every day for
yeah.
this and that. And it's so convenient and easy to use. It's another
That is
big favorite of mine.
really a necessity, honestly. Oh my goodness. Sweet. Well, if there's no other ones, I feel like everyone's kind of, oh, we got more people joining. Love it. Welcome, everybody. Love to see everybody coming on. We're about
Hmm.
any other apps? Give it like 30 seconds. Google Tasks. That is really, really good. I like that a lot. Smart news. Nice. Google Tasks is a really good one. I feel like Google Tasks, do you remember, and this is a throwback, Google used to have a beta like version of their Gmail where everything was like kind of in task form, but it was emails and you kind of checked them off like tasks.
Interesting.
This was a long time ago and I loved that system. And then they like kicked the beta off and said, okay, we're not doing that. And I was so invested in that process that I was really sad to go back to regular Gmail.
Dang, that
So Google
sounds cool.
Tasks, yeah, it was a good idea, but I think Google Tasks is kind of what they did to like have that kind of a setup. Because you're right, if I don't write down a task, it's just floating in my brain and I might lose it.
Yeah,
So
I just started doing some like actual note taking my task.
yeah,
If not, it's just too much to hold in the
yeah.
head.
Awesome. Well, we're 5 minutes in. How about we kind
Yeah.
of get through? We haven't totally introduced ourselves yet.
Haven't. Would you like to take the lead on that one?
I can take the lead on that. I am Carly Weaver. I am over on the CX services team. I'm over apps. I've been doing apps I've been in the church apps world for right around 10 years now. So I've had a lot of experience and a lot of I've had a really good view of like how apps have changed over the years, what people prioritize and what gets used most in the app and what's like the mainstay and has been the mainstay from the start. So that's a little bit of a intro on me. I also love volunteering at church. I guest services is usually where I'm at, which is I'm the person up front with the iPad answering questions, greeting people, directing them to where they need to go, and greeting new people, which I absolutely love, like getting them like, hey, here's like information on small groups and things like that. So I love being at the first experience of someone walking in, and being able to greet them the first time.
Yeah, Carly is awesome. I am Nico. I'm a product manager here at Tithely, and I pretty much focus on all of our comms products. So sites, apps, media, messaging, stuff like that. And same as Carly, love volunteering at church, do Sunday mornings, and then men's group on Monday nights as well. So that's us. That's the team.
Yeah. And next, we'll kind of hit on customer experience. So, our customer experience team puts together these webinars for you guys, really thinks through kind of what would be a topic. And we, of course, take feedback on like what you guys want to hear. But this is something that we really wanted to cover is why you need a church app and customer experience. We are there for your whole onboarding experience as far as also like in support. We are truly by your side and for your growth. We really want to see growth in use of the content that you guys want to produce and put out there for your churches, especially where the app is concerned. We really want to help make that as efficient for you guys and help answer any questions along the way and help really make it truly your own.
Yeah, I can attest to this. Being on the product side, see our CX teams are actually built for you guys, and they work tirelessly to make everything as easily accessed as possible. So love the CX teams. I appreciate all the work you do, Carly, by the way.
Thank you. Awesome. So this is our full product suite. We really love being able to just kind of show you guys a little snapshot of everything we have to offer. We are, of course, going to be deep diving into apps and kind of going into some content there. But this just kind of gives you a full overview of all the products that we offer. If you have any questions about any of these other products, feel free to reach out to our teams. Like, go on our website. There's a chat bubble in the bottom corner. It can connect you with sales or support, depending on the questions that you have there. Or you can email our support team directly at support@tithe.ly. And yeah, when we get into this spot, I do want to kind of give you guys a little bit of direction as we go through here. We do have a Q&A that we will have at the very end. So whenever you are looking at your Zoom window, there is a Q&A area that you can submit your questions. And once we get to the Q&A point, we will address those questions live or anything that we may not have time to get to. Feel free to reach out to support@tithe.ly. We like to keep the questions all in the Q&A box. That way they don't get lost in the chat. So feel free to put those in there and we will address them at the end.
Right. So as Carly mentioned, we're really going to be focusing on apps today, why you need a church app, which brings me to our features. So we have a million and one features, as you can see on here. We have dashboards, group messaging, prayer wall, sermon notes, notifications, sermons, podcasts, etc. And all of our members utilize these in different ways to connect with their members and their congregation in a good way. We're going to go through 4 of these today specifically, which is prayer wall, sermon notes, notifications, and layout editor. But all of these, we have KBA articles on these. So if you ever want to put these in your app, they're super easy to do and super easy to figure out. But Do you have anything to share about all of these features, Carly?
I really kind of hitting on our core question of why do you need a church app? There's sometimes the why is bigger than the list of features, but the list of features helps you get there, you know? So when it comes to having a church app, it's like, why do I even need a church app? Well, the one thing that I think is, of course, very prevalent in our world today is everyone is attached to a phone in some way, shape, or form. And whenever I go in on a Sunday morning, I'm feeling encouraged, refreshed, and having an app that your congregation can use on a daily basis to re-access sermons, connect with others, submit prayer requests, go into different things, and just kind of having notifications sent with encouraging notes from the church. That really kind of draws that into the everyday and kind of keeps that going and kind of keeps the encouragement going. We have so many things pulling our attention. I think it's really awesome that we can help provide a way for you guys as a church to be able to reach your congregation on a daily basis on a really convenient and familiar area that we all use on a daily basis.
That's that's extremely well said. I
Thank
really can't say anything else. I think the key, like you mentioned, is why do you need a church app? Not so you can
you.
have all these features, but
Yeah.
so you can connect with your congregation better. And these features help,
Mhm.
which you said, which is
Yes.
awesome. So let's go into a couple of these then.
Yeah.
Number one awesome feature is sermon notes. So this would be
Mhm.
on the left side when it says the truth about the path to victory that no one likes to think about. So sermon notes is an unbelievable way for you to have your church members engaged during the sermon
Mhm.
and focused on what is going on. So with sermon notes, you can do a lot of dynamic things. And one of them I really like that you can see illustrated here is you can have a sentence and you can leave out some of the words and make them blank. And that gives members the ability to listen to a sermon and pick up on clues or leave something unanswered that they have to fill out themselves. You can also, you see that check mark there. If they click that, that will automatically fill out that blank there. So they could, if they missed it or anything like that, it'll pop up automatically. You can save the notes, you can email them. So sermon notes are a super cool feature that members really love because again, it really gets people involved in listening to the sermon and diving into what you have to say.
Definitely. I love that. Sermon notes is so fun and interactive. I really love it. And those fill in the blanks, the way it just, if you click that check mark, it just pops. And it's just kind of fun because it almost has like a bounce to it. So I love
Yeah,
those little
totally.
things. Something with I will go ahead and answer that. So can we disable the auto answer? That actually is an option that you can put in the auto answer, or you can have that not an option. You can just make it a blank, doesn't have to be in there. So that is a really good point. You can add these full notes or not. So just figured I'd go ahead and answer that while we're in here. Um, Something that I really love, and I think that churches really utilize, is our prayer wall. It gives the users somewhere, your congregation, to go in and submit a prayer request. They can submit it anonymously. We have a moderator set up in there so that you can have it set to like send to a specific person. So if you have someone like assigned to the prayer team that you want to receive those, they would get those and they would be able to view them before posting them within the app. Just in case, being able to freely post on the app, you never know who might pop on and post something and you may want to get ahead of that. So we have that moderator option so that you can filter that and then post that when you have had a chance to look at it. And then the thing that I really love is for people to go back and when their prayer wall post is there, they can see like people have committed to pray. There you can see one praying and it's highlighted kind of in gray there. It means I committed to pray to this. So hopefully the webinar is informative and helpful for you guys. Um, but so these are some things that I really love because people can see like 6 people have committed to pray, and that just is really encouraging to the person who submitted the prayer post. People can also post comments. That goes through that same moderator process, so you can view the comment before posting to make sure it's not anything that you wouldn't want shown. But I
Right.
really love this. I feel like this really plays to the encouraging side of having that app so that people can feel encouraged, and feel that people are totally on their side and that fellowship side.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We also, to let you guys in on a little feature we're working on our dashboard admin side, is turning on automatic notifications for stuff on the prayer wall. So you could turn it on if you wanted to, where
Mhm,
anytime someone asks for a prayer, it pops up on everyone else's app and says, "Hey, Joan is
mhm,
asking for prayer for this." So it's a
mhm.
really, really awesome feature that people get a lot of use out of. Now, let's go
That's amazing.
to two more features that Carly and I really, really like. Uh,
Mhm,
the one that I'm going to pick out here is notifications. So I like this. All of our members love this. Notifications is awesome. So
mhm,
sending out a push notification is a great, great way to engage with your members. I know a lot of you from talking with different churches around the world. Usually, if you don't have a church app, you have maybe a group me where you're sending out, notifications to members, or an email list, or you have some group chats created. This is a great way to eliminate all of those. It's super easy. You go right to the dashboard, type it in, send it out, and you can send it to different groups in your church. You can have a group for, worship team or volunteer team, or send it to everyone. And it's just a really good way to connect with your church and send unlimited notifications free of charge, by the way. So
mhm.
it notifications are awesome.
Yeah. They really are. It's really fun and it's nice. So when people opt into those notifications while you're on your phone, they can opt into those groups that you create. So you
Mm.
can funnel that and people can opt into groups. Like some people would break it up like kids ministry, youth ministry, and you can send push notifications and it'll go to that specific group that opted in for notifications for that. So it's a really great way to kind of like sort through the notifications. That way, like maybe someone who doesn't have a child in children's ministry, they necessarily wouldn't need to see those notifications. You could send a broader one that's something different and send a more specific one to those who are in student ministry. I love being able to sort that. That my organizing brain loves that.
Yeah,
um,
totally.
yeah. Well, something kind of that I really love is, of course, there's why do you need a church app, but there's also like, why is it easy? We've really worked really hard to try to make it as easy as possible to make these apps, to give you the tools that you need to make these apps as easy and fun to put together and really kind of allows you to be creative with what you want on your home screen. So we have our layout editor here, and this gives you all of the functionality to add your own photos, add your own names, title your tabs, link them to specific areas in the app. And it really is great because whenever you're building out your church app for the first time, you want to have on your home screen the top 3 to 5 things that you know your users are going to be looking for the fastest when they open the app. So a lot of times, of course, giving that is a really quick thing that people want to get to. When you open the app, there's a give tab there. We even have like a little floating give button, if you can kind of see that in the bottom corner of that screenshot, that people can hit give right away. And within 3 seconds, they can be logging in, submitting their gift, and going through that process. The quicker and easier and more efficient your app is, the more usage you're going to get from your congregation and keep them coming back for more. So I love that this really gives you a lot of flexibility. One thing that's awesome is it's also connected to Tidely Media. So say you have a Tidely site with us and you've uploaded images, things on there, and you want to be able to say, oh, I put this banner up on my website. I'd like this to be the title image on this layout. you can click through, upload from media, and you can see your previous images that you've used, select it, and apply that here. That way, you don't have to upload images in two different places. So it's really, really fun. And honestly, whenever I see that there is like whenever yeah, when I see that there are photos of like say my church, whenever I see there are photos of like groups of us or groups of people from my church,
Mm.
pictures of the church, our branding, it really is really cool because you just like there's a lot of ownership that comes in with that and you're just like, hey, this is us, this is really cool. So you already have that cool factor when people are looking at the app for the first time from your congregation, and that just kind of adds to it by having a lot of images that look a lot like you guys and that are all of your content. So I highly recommend having as many custom photos there as possible.
Totally. I like that you mentioned the word easy. I
Mhm.
think we've kind of gone over why you need a church app, all the unbelievable features that church apps have, how you can implement them with the layout editor quite easily.
Mhm.
But you guys might be wondering, like, so what's the process of actually getting an app? How do I build it? How long does it take? And that is where the automatic app builder comes in. So this is
Mhm.
something we're super proud of. This is a recent innovation from our church apps team. And it's a three-step process. It's very quick. It says 5 minutes here, but it really takes maybe a minute, 30 seconds.
Mhm.
All you do is you take your website URL and you implement it into this field right here. You press submit, which takes you to the upload logo. This is where you'll upload your church logo, and this church logo can be used in your app, and it also can be the app icon that users see on their home screen when they download the church app.
Mhm.
Then you click a layout, one of four you can choose from. You have featured, stack, squares, and list, which are all like custom designed layouts from our designers here at Typely. So they
Mhm.
all look awesome and they're designed for a mobile screen. Once you do that, you click submit. A little spinny spins for probably 10, 15 seconds, and that's it. It's done. Your app is actually created and ready to go. Now you can go into the layout editor, like Carly mentioned, and edit it from there and move stuff around, change images if you want, but the whole process takes 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, so fast.
It's incredible.
Love it.
So that is the automatic app builder.
Yeah. Oh, we have something really fun here.
Yes, we have something really fun. So speaking of all that stuff together, we wanted to offer just you guys on the webinar a 3 month free subscription. So this allows you to try out the app, no cost, no lift. Get in there, throw in your website, download the app, try it out on your phone, launch it to your members. It's a super, super convenient way to see if they like it, see if you like it, see if it adds convenience and uh, extra awesomeness to your church experience with your members. So I think,
Mhm.
Carly, you're going to throw the link into the
I
chat.
did. I just
Perfect.
sent that over. I love this because if you guys think about the automatic app builder that was just in there, you can go through and get it built within just a few minutes, have that set, and then immediately jump in, play with the layout editor, and then you can immediately find your app on the Tidely Church app and pull it up and start using it directly on your phone. So 30 minutes after this webinar, you could be having an app on your phone to play with. That's pretty amazing how fast that comes through.
Yes.
So that, and then you
Also,
get to try it out for 3 months.
yes, I'm seeing April Street asking, does it have to be a Tidely site? And that is a no. So you can use
Mhm.
any website that your
Yep.
church, besides Facebook, but Facebook, you'll go through the form and still be able to build it. But any website you can use, and we'll pull all the data from your website, all the photos, colors, all that stuff,
Mhm.
and create your church app for you.
Absolutely.
So
Love
yeah, I think
that.
I'll grab that. And now I think it's perfect time to go into our Q&A session, Carly.
Yes. Let me pull up these questions really quick. All right, let's go through. So we have one question. Here we go. From Tara, it says, what is the cost of the app after the 3 months? So after the 3 months, the app is $89 a month. If you go through and go to our like all access package, that is $119 a month. So that is an option as well. So you can have this for free for 3 months. And if you want to continue with the app, you can also look into the all access solution. They can, you can just move over into that as well. Let me
Yes. I
see.
also see Maria just asked, what about the offer we currently have from Breeze to add the Tidely website and app to our basic service? Is this offer separate from that?
Hmm.
So I think that is exactly what Carly was just mentioning, the all access offer where Breeze members can get the
So
site and
yeah, so if you haven't added apps to your Breeze bundle, this link should still apply there. But that is something I would recommend double checking with our support team. The team at support at tithe.ly, they'll be able to answer that more clearly. You can say, hey, I was just on this webinar. I wanted to see if I could make sure this was applied to the Breeze bundle for adding the app subscription. And they should be able to help guide you through that process to make sure you can take advantage of these 3 months.
totally. I see Kem just asked, do you recommend a church that's just starting to have a church app? Also, can you create an app without the website? We haven't built the website yet.
Great
Great,
question.
great, great question. So, do I
Mhm.
recommend a church that's just starting to have a church app? Actually, yes, 100% I do. It's the
Mhm.
way that you can communicate and have group chats inside of there, post your sermons on there. It's such a great way for a new church to get people involved instantly inside of an app
Mhm.
instead of like having a Sunday that's awesome and then a whole week goes by with no communication, hoping they show up again next Sunday. I think this is an the perfect solution for a brand new church getting started. And then also, you can definitely create an app without the website. You go to a separate form and we ask you a bunch of questions on what you want it to look like, etc. And then Carly's
Mhm.
team builds that out for you.
Yep. It's still an initial draft, but we at least get some of your preferences and stuff. And like Nico was saying, I think it's great because on Sunday mornings, when you're like welcoming new people to your church, you can say, hey, download our app, stay connected with us. We really want to stay connected with you and be able to make you aware of things that we're doing as we grow. And that is really, it feels small, but yet it's just like kind of, it gets you on their phone. People, like Nico said, like people can come back, they're like, oh, I remember that church, we
Mm,
visited them last week, I want to go back again. And you have that kind of step into their daily lives that way.
yep. I'm gonna also, I think Alan said, is the app only for mobile devices?
Yeah, real quick before you do that, if you guys could put some of them in the Q&A too, that way they don't get lost in the chat. I feel like we're getting lost in the chat a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for asking that. But we'll still go through these ones that are in the chat, but if you could direct others to the Q&A, that'd be great.
I'm gonna go through these real quick and then we'll hop over to the
Mhm.
Q&A questions. So everyone in Q&A, we'll get to yours in just a second. Okay. Is the app only for mobile devices from Alan? So yes, Android and iOS, but it's also for iPad as well. So we have
Mhm.
those three. Uh, and also other Android tablets as well. Uh, Chem asked, thanks so much. Also, if we use the notification in the app, do we still need your messaging? That is up to you. So a lot of
Mhm.
people find that messaging is like the number one highest open rate for any sort of push to a phone. So if you wanted to get something out to all of your members, I would suggest still keeping messaging.
Mhm.
Notification's great because you can throw in sign up links. You can, like Carly said, you can make little groups. So you can only have notifications go to your worship team. And that is a lot easier than using messaging. But I think they both still have their merits for sure.
Yeah. Because some people may just have notifications turned off on their phone. And
Yeah.
if there's something really vital you want to get to them, messaging is a better way to go because you know exactly who's getting it. And that just kind of clarifies those things.
Alan says, doesn't the Breeze app link to our church and website pretty much offer the same connections like tags to send out text/emails? Yeah, so you can definitely send out text and emails. Totally. Now, if
Mhm.
that is the only thing you want to send, go for it. Notifications are great, but church app specifically, sermons, live streams, prayer wall, podcasts, sermon notes, media, all that stuff, is not included unless you have a church app. I see, let's see, one more question, then we'll hop over to QA. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, Lacey asks, are we able to have a directory that connects to Breeze to use Breeze Forms? That's a great question. So we're actually talking about that right now. Not
There is a
currently.
way.
Yeah, there is a way.
A web link. So you can grab the web link from your Breeze Forms or things like that and have that available in the app. So there is a way to connect that specifically, at least through that avenue, rather than an integration at the moment.
Yeah. So people can register through the app. Let's say you send out a notification, hey, register for the bake sale. You can have a Breeze event registration link. They can click that, and all of that info will save to Breeze still.
Awesome. Sweet. Hopefully that answers your question, Lacey. Let me go into our first Q&A one. So it says, can you go into how a post on the Tidely site quickly goes to the app as well? Excited about only having to update in one place. Love that.
Totally. Yeah.
That's a great question.
So how the app works in terms of podcasts, video, stuff like that, we use RSS feeds. So if you have an RSS feed set up on your Tidely site of, sermons that you're uploading every week or podcast or anything like that,
Mhm.
that is also connected to your app. So when you upload to that, it'll upload to both places. It's super
Mhm.
seamless. It's super easy.
Yep. It's awesome. And we don't have those automatically connected from the start. You do have to grab that RSS feed and plug it into your Tidely app. We do that just because you may not want all of your feeds directly connected to the app. You may want different things and you want to customize those. So you do have to grab those and plug those in, but it does make it so easy. We also connect events. So if you have events on your Tidely site, you can copy an iCal feed from your Tidely site and connect that to your app as well. Live streaming is another thing that can be connected from your Tidely site. If you build out a live stream on your Tidely site, there is a link that you can grab from your Tidely site to then add that into your live streaming in your church app, and they'll be connected together there. So that is another really great feature. So hopefully that answers your question, Allison. Okay, next, let me get through. We've got a lot of questions. I love this though. We're here to answer questions. So I
Yeah,
really
totally.
appreciate all the questions. So let's see. Does the group messaging also have the ability to send a text simultaneously? I worry about app dependency as we have folks who are technologically resistant to interfacing with the app, typically older or not willing to take the time. Teens. Totally get that. That I really understand that there's a large demographic and you want to make sure you have the right solution for all of those people, but you still want to get their attention at the same time. So I would say like that's where kind of depending on the type of messages you're wanting to get out, like Nico was talking about messaging, sometimes if it's an announcement, sometimes a messaging blast helps get that to the people that really need to hear it. The As far as the group chat functionality for having different groups set up and people can chat within it, um, I am not a teenager anymore, so I'm not always the person that knows how to connect with teens the best, but we have emojis, we have reactions. So we have a lot of fun stuff that's in group messaging that is engaging that really hopefully helps pull people together there. There's also moderation as well. So if you are the group leader, you can go in and like if someone posts something that shouldn't be in there, you can remove that and things like that. So there is some moderating there, but we have a wide range of options for reaching people. There are push notifications, messaging, whether it's through like Breeze or, Tidely messaging. There's also, of course, the group chat, as I mentioned, and push notifications. So there's a lot of ways to get information out there. But I agree, you kind of have to read your audience and see how's the best way I'm going to get this message out to everyone. And unfortunately, sometimes one or two people might get missed in that shuffle, and I totally get that. But that's where multiple options for that really come in handy.
Well said.
All right, let's see, what's our next one? Let me Okay, so here we go. So we are just getting started with Tidely and are hoping to use Alvanto as part of the All Access package. Some of this may already be answered in your support area, but does it already exist, or are there future plans to integrate elements from Alvanto into the Tidely app or public site and vice versa? Calendars, prayer requests, member sections, directory, things like that. Kind of similar to what we mentioned with Breeze earlier. We can link over like a login page to Alvanto to give people access to that within the app, and linking over forms, things like that, having events. We can also link events over. There are iCal feeds from Alvanto that we can link to. There isn't a direct integration specifically, depending on what you're looking at. Nico could probably speak a little bit more to the like kind of future plans there, but specifically prayer requests isn't built at the moment to communicate over in that way. We really kind of keep that all in one place. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Nico, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, that's just super well said. It's the same thing as Breeze, like Carly mentioned. We're always trying to get everything more connected. Right now, it's just basically trying to grab in those feeds. So if you get the feeds inside the app, which is really easy to do, everything that happens over there will by default happen in the app, which makes it really easy.
Yeah, feeds really it's a way to integrate without like having something totally built in. RSS feeds are our best friend when it comes to a lot of those things. So hopefully that answers your question. And then let's see, what about a blog post about an upcoming event? How does that go to both places? That's another great example of what actually an RSS feed can answer that as well. Sorry, Nico, I feel like I'm dominating
No,
all the
no.
conversation.
Perfect.
But so blog posts, if you have a blog set up on your Tidely site or any website, there are typically RSS feeds attached to those as well, and we can integrate with that. There's a blog area on the app dashboard that you can add an RSS feed to, retitle it, and you can have that come through in the app so they can view that there as well. So, and then as you update,
easy.
Yeah, so easy, makes it really nice, pulls it through. And as you continue to update that blog area with those kinds of announcements, that would show up in the app as well. All right. Let's see, we've got a couple more. We're still doing good on time. So let's see. So this one, so how long is the offer good for the 3 months off? Need to run it by the minister and the board. Does that link expire, Nico, or is there a little bit of time?
The link does not expire for anyone that is in this webinar. So we just ask that you don't share it around with anyone because we wanted to make it special for you guys. So take your time, talk with who you need to talk with, and then we'll be here ready for you when you're ready to go.
Definitely. Awesome. Okay, cool. So here is another question. We're in the early stages of integrating the Breeze CHMS to our church membership. This looks like a great add-on for our younger attenders. Will you have a direct help number to call for assistance? That's the only thing right now I wish Breeze offered. Response has been less than 24 hours and great at resolving issues. So we don't currently have a set phone number. However, whenever you reach out to support, there is an option to schedule a phone call. And I know our support members are on the phone a lot. So if you request a phone call, they will do their best to accommodate you and make sure they can hop on. I know it takes a little bit of time, but our team is working really hard to make sure we get the right answers to you as quickly as possible. And that means getting you to the right team member who knows exactly how to answer your question in the best way possible. So we appreciate your patience with that. I know it takes a little bit of time, but it just means that we are working really hard to get you the correct answer as soon as possible. Awesome. Okay, we have last Q&A question in here, but definitely pop in a couple more. We've still got a little more time if you guys have any other questions or follow-up questions to anything we've already chatted about. Last one in here, because we don't currently use any services beyond the basic giving, I feel like I may need a more use specific consultation on what may be best for us. How do I go about that? Great question. So we have our sales team who you can schedule a demo with, and you can really get in depth on a lot of questions about any of our product suite when it comes to that, to see if it makes sense to go to the all access or what is really going to help you guys the most. If you go to our website, tithe.ly, there's going to be an option there to book a demo. I highly, highly recommend. Our sales team really knows the products, and they're going to be able to help tell you about each product and help guide you through what product is going to help you in the best way. So hopefully that will get you all the answers you need. And even if you have technical questions, they may take a couple minutes to go and ask someone to find out a really specific question, but our sales team is great about going through and making sure they get you what you need.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that one as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, oh, we just use the giving app. Like all we do is use the giving app. That's all we need.
Mhm.
And an interesting statistic that we found out a couple months ago, we ran the numbers, and this is 100% true. Those with a church app usually get 6 times more giving than those without a church app who are just using the giving app. I don't know the main reason for this. My guess would be because we have the little giving, floating giving at the bottom. People are just in the app more throughout the week. They're listening to a podcast. Maybe you ask to give in the podcast, they give. But I would not let that hold you back. If giving is your only thing, I would not let that hold you back from actually getting a church app. And again, you can try it for 90 days. It's a very long time. So it's such an easy move to just try it out and see if you like it and see maybe if your giving increases. Who knows,
Definitely. Yeah, that is another thing. That I haven't gone over those stats in a while, but early on in when church apps were first coming on, it really was being a huge effect on increasing your online giving and really helping people stay consistent because they're reminded.
Yeah.
Not that you have to have a whole big giving tile on your home screen every time, but they're reminded of the church. And I mean, I won't preach on tithing or anything, but the more you're at a church really really being a part, you want to be able to partner with your church in that way. So it just also kind of is a good reminder for people.
Totally.
Awesome. Awesome. Alan actually chimed back in. I was typing an answer, but I'll go ahead and answer it here. So he said, to be clear, customer service has been fantastic. Just would like a quicker contact if AI doesn't get me to the correct answer. Totally get that. And the nice thing about the AI stuff is the more questions it gets, the smarter it gets because our team is then coming in and answering it if it's not able to answer it. So we're working really hard to get as many articles in there to actually make that even as have a larger effect on helping you quicker than even we can. So hopefully over time, as that gets built up, that will just get smarter and smarter. So awesome. Well, I don't have any other questions. I'll give you a couple minutes if someone wants to chime in with a question, but you guys have been wonderful. I really appreciate all of you jumping in on this webinar, and hopefully it was informative and hopefully it was enjoyable. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to hit on, Nico?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I loved all of the questions. I feel for those of you who probably are going to get off the webinar and then go, oh my gosh, I have a perfect question that I need an answer for.
Yeah.
That would be here. So
Hmm.
if you do have any more questions, if that does happen to you, please email us at support@tithe.ly. And like Carly said, we'll get to you as fast as possible. Super excited to answer those. And I'm wondering, did another question just come through? I saw a little notification on my screen.
It did. So they're all about the recording, which will be sent to you guys automatically. So that is, whoops, I got like a thumbs up, like automatically in my corner, my thing. So yes, there will be at the end of this webinar, it should automatically send you guys a link to view it. I also believe they're going to put this on YouTube as well. So this is going to be, I believe, on our Tidely YouTube channel as well here soon. So you'll have access to it. If you don't get an email right after this webinar, reach out to support@tithe.ly and they'll be able to find that link for you to make sure they get the webinar or
Totally,
get you that link.
totally.
Wonderful. Perfect. Well, thank you all again. I think we are kind of wrapping up here and we really appreciate your guys' time.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
thank
you're
you,
coming to
everyone.
MCL. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Sonia. I just saw that. I'm so
Nice.
excited about that. That's awesome. You're coming to MCL. I will actually be there at MCL. So I
As
would
will I.
love to get to see you. Awesome. So we'll both be there. So definitely just say, hey, I was on that webinar and I would be so psyched to get to chat with you more. Hopefully by then you'll have a new app that you started playing with and putting together.
Yes. Sonia, by the way, I will be running a apps demo at the MCL conference. So just come to the
Sweet.
demo and we can talk church app for sure.
Wonderful. Love it, love it. Well, have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, everyone. This has been so much fun.
Yes, it has.
Oh, join our Facebook groups. I forgot about that. That is something you can join in. If you haven't joined our Facebook groups, feel free to jump in and join the conversation. We have a lot of really awesome customers in there who are doing the same thing as you guys are. So it's great to share knowledge there.
Totally. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Bye bye.